I think I got most everybody allowed to record. Let me know if you don't have it. Quick chat, I'll get you. Sounds like Dan said we were going to get Dwayne Washington Jr. and EJ Liddell. That changes, I'll let you know. All right, Dan just confirmed that we will have Dwayne Washington Jr. and EJ Liddell. He also wanted me to pass along that it was Coach Holtmann's 200th win. I don't think I needed to tell too many of you that. I think you guys are all over it.
First time to semi since 2014.
All right, they worked out real well yesterday with one question each. We can get through. We got a number of people on here, and a little less time than what we normally do during the regular season. So one question each, and we'll get through just about everybody. Here we go. There's EJ Liddell. Thanks for joining us, EJ. We'll go ahead and start with Adam Jardy and Bill Landis on deck. Adam, go ahead.
EJ, congratulations on that one. I wonder if you could just take us through what it took to turn things around in overtime. I mean, they had all the momentum, it seemed, forcing overtime. You guys took it to them there in overtime. What did it take to turn it around and get it going?
Oh man, staying together. Everybody stayed together. We executed the game plan. Everybody who came in the game, who subbed in, knew what we were doing. We were very detailed, and we just had to take our momentum swing. Their momentum swing and give it to us. Everybody has runs. And they had the biggest run in the game coming back, but we stayed together.
Next up, Bill Landis with Steve Hellwagon on deck. Bill.
EJ, you guys are trying to win a game in overtime in the Big Ten tournament, and you have a bunch of bench guys in there. Zed's out there, Seth's out there. Just what kind of confidence do you have in those guys, especially when you need to close a game out of this magnitude?
Oh, man. We play against each other every day in practice, so I don't expect anything less from them. They're great players. Everybody knew what they could do, and that's why this team is so special. The depth of our team, and they just went out there and did their thing.
Next up, Steve Hellwagon with Patrick Murphy on deck. Steve.
Yeah, EJ, obviously Kyle Young going out impacted this game. I don't think he's ever had an offensive explosion like that in the first half, and then appears he may have been elbowed in the head or something and left the game. Just the impact of that and your matchup with Williams, it was just kind of like the two of you going back and forth down the stretch and just all of that coming together.
Hold up. One volume was kind of low. Okay, can you ask that again?
Yeah, just losing Kyle Young after the game that he had in the first half and your matchup with Williams, just you guys traded punches in the middle of the ring for 15 rounds, it looked like.
I mean, losing Kyle was big. I mean, y'all saw the effect he made. Was he 4 for 3, like 4 for 5?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you just saw the effect that Kyle had on the game and the impact. But I mean, we picked him up and we got the W for him. I hope he's okay. But just how intense this game was, we both knew what it took. That's what Big Ten basketball is all about. And we just came out on top.
Next up, Patrick Murphy with Stephen Means on deck. Patrick.
EJ, the late game situations have been a theme of late. Do you sense anything when you get into second halves that mentally that's in the back of your head? Are you thinking about that at all? What continues to be an issue for you guys that allow this to keep happening?
I wouldn't say we get complacent, but we just got to know situations, time to score. But yeah, we had a great first half, and CJ and me kept emphasizing, and all the other leaders on our team, that we had 20 more minutes and we had to finish it out. But I just feel like they made their run. Purdue's a good team. So.
All right, next up, Stephen Means, and we'll finish up with Colin Hassel. Stephen.
EJ, down the stretch there, Travion pretty much was able to do whatever he wanted down there in the paint to kind of keep things close. When you guys don't have Kyle on the floor as just another body, another big, for an already smaller team, how much of an impact does that have on your guys' defense?
And Travion Williams, the first team All Big Ten guy. I mean, you guys saw what he did all year. Had a 30-point game, and is a great player. Great player. I'll give him another good props.
And we'll finish up with Colin Hassel. Colin.
EJ, what do you think it was about Seth that really allowed him to make big plays for you guys down the stretch? I mean, it seemed like before he came in, he was just super calm over there on the sideline.
Seth is always under control and calm. Honestly, I feel like Seth is always the level-headed one. He doesn't never get too high, get too low. And I mean, he came out there and made some big plays, big shots, and shows what Seth could really do.
All right, EJ, thanks.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
All right, Dwayne, thanks for joining us. We'll go ahead and start with Adam Jardy and Bill Landis on deck. Adam.
Dwayne, congratulations on the win. This is like a week and a half ago or so. It was very emotional leaving the court for you. And then in this game, I get to watch you run off and you're waving to the fans, doing OH and just taking in the moment. What did it feel like to go from where you guys were as a team a couple days ago to having this moment and an overtime win like this?
Yeah, yeah, this is Big Ten basketball, man. It's a hard season, long season. It's my third go around, so I've been through it where you go through a stretch of losing games. I went through being number 2 in the country, so seeing both sides, you're gonna get challenged. You're gonna have some tough moments during the year. You're gonna have some hard moments, like I said, and those teams that we play were really good teams. And we also did some really good things during those games. We never felt like we were a different team or anything like that. We know we're a very good team and what we can do, and we just had to stick to it. Got back to work, took it on the chin, and put our heads down, and here we are, surviving and advancing, and got a big one tomorrow. So super excited.
Next up, Bill Landis with Patrick Murphy on deck. Bill.
Hey, Dwayne, I'm just wondering, as a man who appreciates a good score of the basketball, how you would analyze Seth Towns' offensive game.
Yeah. He's come a long way, man. He's still, working through some things. This is his first year back. He hasn't played in 2.5 years. And he's not going to get it back right away. He's been doing some great things for us. I'm always in his ear. Just stay confident, stay ready, stay ready. We needed him tonight. He connected on a couple of back actions where, he hit a three and then he shot faked and one dribble pull up, and that's his game for sure. You guys don't see it like we do it, but every day in practice, we get a couple bank shots here and there off the glass middies, and that's his game for sure. And he had a great game today, put something in for us. He was huge off the bench, and we're gonna need more of that from him.
Next up, Patrick Murphy with Steve Hellwagon on deck. Patrick.
Dwayne, the impact Kyle had in the first half and then dealing with losing him in the second half, kind of take us through watching both of those things happen on the court.
Yeah, you definitely realize when Kyle's not on the court, and hopefully he's good. Obviously checked on him. He did a lot of good things for us in the first half. I told him he's gonna have to make some shots today. That's what I told him, honestly. Before we came into the arena, I told him, I said, hey, you gotta put something in for us today. We're gonna be looking for you. And I tried to find him a couple of times, and he put them up, and they were good. So we needed that spark, that lift, brought a lot of energy to us, and we needed it. It was amazing. I'm so happy for him.
Next up, Steve Hellwagon with Stephen Means on deck. Steve.
Yeah, Dwayne, you guys played such a great first half, and then for the longest time, Purdue kind of dominated things in the second half. How difficult is it to get back on top of your game and hit clutch shots in the overtime after you've kind of sat back and watched them kind of dominate the action? That seems like it'd be kind of hard to do, to get your flow back going in the overtime period where you still got to go out and win the game a second time, it seems.
Yeah, genuinely, honestly, the only way you can get through it is going through it the wrong way first. Having a team come back and beat you will definitely will wrap your head around what needs to be done to close out games. And they made some very tough shots. Trevion Williams had a great game. He played really well today. Very good low post score. So he got going late. Their freshman got going late as well. Later in the second half, bringing them back. So like I said, basketball is a game of runs. They're going to make plays. They're a good team. We lost to them twice this year, so they're a very good team. And credit to them, they made some tough shots to bring them back into the game. And it's hard to dig out of those holes, though. So we just had to keep doing what we were doing and stay aggressive, and we pulled it out.
Thanks.
And our last two questions will come from Stephen Means and Whitney Harding. Stephen.
And I feel like we spent a lot of time asking you guys about the end of the games, but whether it's today, the Minnesota game, the Michigan State game, or any other game, when this is happening, when there is these 4 or 5 minute stretches where you can't score and another team is scoring, then it happens again. What's the conversations like as players, whether in the locker room at halftime before it happens or on the bench when you guys are talking to each other during timeouts?
Yeah, it's frustrating, man. It's hard. It's very emotional. Got to be very tough on the court, tough mentally. And it's not our first time going through this. So I think, it's our third or fourth or however many times everybody's counting that people are coming back against us. Obviously we need to be better, but going through those situations in practice, going through them in real games, you can't simulate it. So if you've never been through it, then it's good. It'll be tough when the time comes. And I think us being veterans, a lot of our key guys are veterans and been through this whole deal before. So staying poised. My job, aside from making plays, is keeping the guys' heads right, myself included. Sometimes I need a reality check. CJ needs a reality check. Everybody. So once we can get all on the same cylinder and on the same page back again from their run, then we'll have a good outcome.
And we'll finish up with Whitney Harding. Whitney.
Hey, Dwayne. Back the first time you guys played Michigan, it was maybe the best game of the year. I know it's the best game I watched all year. So what did you learn from that game, and how excited are you guys to have this rematch that so many are looking forward to?
Yeah, a very good team. I told you guys previous in another interview that we're going to see him again, and here it is. So we're super excited. About to get off this interview with you guys, go recover, and tip off's at 1 tomorrow. So, just going over the game plan stuff, staying locked in, doing what we need to do to come out with a dub and survive in advance. So, guys are locked and loaded.
Awesome, Dwayne. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us. Congrats on the win. Congrats on win number 200 as well. Let you take over.
All right, thanks, guys. As we always say, players win games, and our players won this game. They made great plays down the stretch, stayed with it. Thought we had great execution in overtime and really good execution there late. CJ just fumbled the ball there in our last action, but give our guys credit. Purdue's a phenomenal team. They're tough. I think they're really good, really well coached, physical, and to do this under some unique circumstances and with some unique lineups is a great testament to our players.
Just a reminder, got a number of questions here, so one question each. We'll get through everybody. We'll go ahead and start with Brendan Gulick and Stephen Means on deck. Brendan.
Chris, congrats on an emotional win for sure. Seth Towns has been such an instrumental part of your culture throughout the year, but maybe hasn't had, spotlight moments to shine. And he really had that opportunity, obviously in overtime, but it really came once EJ Liddell fouled out. Can you give us an idea of what you've seen from Seth throughout the course of the year that made you comfortable knowing he could excel when he was given this opportunity tonight?
Seth and I had a conversation last night, and after we had a chance to spend some one-on-one time together, I just felt really confident in that he was going to play well here. You don't know if it's going to be the next day, but I just felt really confident in his mindset, where his head was. He and I texted last night late. I just felt really good about where he was at, and I did think he would play well here, whether it was, a game or two from now or this game. And I give the kid credit, man. It's a great credit to him.
All right, next up, Stephen Means with Patrick Murphy on deck. Stephen.
Yeah, Coach, could you just take us through what you were trying to get there with that last play of the regulation with C.J. Walker there?
Yeah, it's just a step-up action we ran. He just fumbled the ball. Yeah, just to space step-up action, he just fumbled the ball.
All right, next up, Patrick Murphy with
We've run
Whitney.
it. We've run it a number of times, scored. He just mishandled the ball.
All right, Patrick Murphy with Whitney Harding on deck. Patrick.
Chris, do you have any update on Kyle at this point? And what was it like when you got the news? You know, obviously Purdue's in the middle of a run there. You got the news that he wasn't coming back in, and the response from your guys to get the win without him.
I thought it was a phenomenal response. Yeah, phenomenal response. Again, our guys executed so well. You know, when Justice getting to the free throw line, I thought was critical, and then overtime offensively. Guys made plays, and Dwayne made some phenomenal reads off of. We really ran a similar action most of overtime, and Dwayne made some phenomenal reads. So, listen, it was a tough one without Kyle because he was unbelievable in the first half. I don't have an update on him right now. I'm waiting to meet with the doctors.
All right, next up is Whitney Harding with Steve Hellwagon on deck. Whitney.
Hey, Chris, for as exciting as this game was, now the next one is the one that so many have been wanting to see again. What did you guys learn from the first time you played Michigan, and how excited is the group for the rematch?
I think they're still feeling this, coming down a little bit from this one. They do understand we're playing a terrific Michigan team and well coached and really, really good. We've got to defend a lot better, Whitney, than what we did in game one. We've got to defend a lot better. We got to somehow get our legs under us and be able to respond quickly to a team that is a really complete team offensively and defensively. I think those are the big challenges in front of us right now is we've got to get rest and respond. We understand we're playing a great team. When you advance in this tournament, you're going to play great teams. I thought we played a great team today, but it's a great challenge tomorrow.
All right, Steve Hellwagon with Bill Landis on deck. Steve.
Yeah, Coach, I'm curious what the mindset was in some of those late game timeouts and huddles, because there had to be almost some shell shock involved when you give up an 18.
No. It's college basketball, Steve. It's college basketball. It's college basketball.
How did you?
This happens.
How did you keep the guys' heads and minds in this, and for them to pull it out the way they did?
I think they understand. I mean, just watch college basketball. Purdue's a good team. Give them credit. We had a trouble guarding Travion. We were in foul trouble. There was no shell shock. They were on to the next play. They've done this. They've been around this. This group's an experienced group. Fans might look at it and say, whoa, they're shell shocked, an 18-point loss. I think guys that have been in it understand that you got to play the full 40 minutes. You're playing a really good team. They're going to make some plays. They did. We can do some things better. But I was super proud, Steve, of their poise in the midst of those timeouts.
Thanks.
Next up is Bill Landis with Doug Lees-Marie on deck. Bill.
Chris, your bench was obviously big for you today, and you've got a very interesting collection there. You got a conference player of the year, a freshman who does finger guns, a kid who should be in high school. Like I don't think you break your roster down, starters and reserves, but that is like kind of a quirky, unique group. And I'm just wondering what it's like to coach them and then also see them on the floor in overtime together when you're trying to close out a Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, it's a good way of quirky's a good way of putting it. We've got a really fun group, really fun group that I love and appreciate. They doused me. It's why my hair's looking like it is. They doused me with water in the locker room and kept saying 200. I had no idea what they were talking about. But they kept saying it over and over. I thought I owed somebody 200. And they're just a really fun group to be around. And you see it right in the way we play, and you see it in their interaction on the bench.
Our last few questions here. We have Doug Lees-Maurice, followed by Tim Hall. Doug.
Hey, Chris. Is Kyle being checked for a possible concussion issue?
He is, Doug. Yes, he is.
He was on the floor for, I think, 4 possessions, 2 on each end after he took that elbow in the head. Why was he on the floor that long after that?
I don't know how long the possessions were. He said he was. I don't. To be honest with you, I'd like to look back and know the exact scenario right now. I think in that moment right now, we pulled him initially out of an abundance of caution. I think he said he wanted to play and gave us the indication that he was okay. Perhaps looking back on it, I could have pulled him and maybe should have done that. But in that moment, I just kind of looked and trusted what he said.
All right, next up is Tim Hall, and we'll finish with Adam Jardy. Tim.
Coach, I didn't even realize this, but your team just tweeted out that was your 200th overall win. It's always a milestone. I know you're not in the time to think about things like that, but if there was any comment at all on getting it this type of way.
Well, it's a memorable one for sure, Tim. It really is a memorable one, and that's humbling that those guys would do that and think enough to do that. It really is. But I've lost a lot of games too. So players win games, coaches lose games, and we live with those losses. So hopefully we'll enjoy this one. I appreciated them doing that. I can have time for a couple more.
All right, we've got the last two coming here with Adam Jardy. Adam.
I just forgot Chris, on senior day, I asked you afterward about how emotional Dwayne was afterward and trying to leave the court and just how down he was. To get to see him today leave the court and yelling OH to the fans and speaking to the national media on TV, what was that like for you to see a guy who had such a tough day and such a tough aftermath of that game have a moment like this and to come out the way that he
there's
did?
nothing better. There's nothing better than having your players, enjoy the moment. And we kept saying that over and over. This is fun. It's a road environment against a really good team. Let's play with smiles on our face. Let's enjoy it. It was really good to see. Dwayne really felt the senior day loss because I think he felt like, and he's one of our best players, he felt, responsible. And, like I'm a proud parent. I get angry when people are critical, what I think are overly critical of our players. And I think for Dwayne, he's handled that really well because there is an admission that we all have to do things better, coaches and players. And to see him respond and enjoy his decision-making, which was really the difference in overtime versus, what happened a couple games ago it's a credit to him. It's a credit to him.
And for you guys to win multiple games, Ohio State hasn't done it in this tournament since 2014. I know you haven't had historically a lot of success in conference tournaments.
No, I have not.
But we haven't brought that up until this point. But now that you've had this success and you're making a run here, what does that say about the character of this team and about maybe what this season ultimately will end up being remembered for? That you guys have been able to do something that your teams haven't done and Ohio State hasn't done in some time.
Yeah, Adam, I think that, listen, I think as a coach, you're always looking and seeing, okay, what, are there reasons behind that? Was it bad draws or, something that I can do better in terms of preparation? We've obviously had a lot of close games in conference tournament play. Got to the semifinals our last year at Gardner-Webb, but I think as much as anything, what I've said all along is that this is a special group. And I said it to you guys last week when when we were in the midst of a tough stretch, and I felt like we were playing well at times. We just weren't able to complete some games, and we need to do some things better. But it's been a special group all year. It has been a really special group. And for us to do some of the things we've done that I think, quite honestly, people weren't sure that we could in this year has been rewarding. And you know, I'm so hungry to continue to do it with this group because they're fun to be around every day.
Awesome. Coach, appreciate your time.